Hi everybody, this is Rebecca Titilo with the Roma Hut Institute. Today we're going to make some delicious meatballs with garlic, onion, and lemon essential oil. So let's go ahead and pull all out our ingredients and make sure we have everything. We're going to need some fresh ground beef, which we're just going to plop right into the bowl here. Now I've had it out for about 10 to 15 minutes to sort of let it get to room temperature so it'll be a little easier to work with. Now I've got some olive oil, and what I want to go ahead and do is just drizzle this into my pan. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on to low heat so it can just start to warm up while we're working on our meatballs. Okay, and we're also going to be adding some other things. We want to add about 2 cloves of garlic. And we're going to be also putting in our about a teaspoon or so of Italian seasoning and about a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Now you can use about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. This is Italian breadcrumbs, so I'm just going to sprinkle some in. I'm going to hold off on adding this and then mix it in and see how it goes and add some more if we need it. And we're going to also need to add some fresh eggs. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put in 2 eggs. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do now is just take our spoon and we're going to just start to get this all mixed up. And in a minute we'll be working with it, making up some meatballs. Now you can add salt and pepper to taste if you like, or you can just save that and add that in at the very last minute if you like. Lemon juice in their meatballs, and so instead of that, we're going to be using lemon essential oil. So we'll be adding in about I say, just a couple of drops or so. Okay, so once you get this all mixed up here, we'll have to just get our hands in and start mixing it. So let me go ahead and put in our essential oil. All right. And it smells really good with all the seasonings. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of pepper in. And if you do like salt, a little bit of salt. Okay, let's just stir that up real good. And once you think you've got it all blended nicely, you can use your hands to form meatballs, or you might want to use an ice cream scoop. So I got an ice cream scoop here. I figured this is a great way to make a nice sized meatball. And just go ahead and work it in your hands, roll it up. And we're going to just go ahead and add it right into our pan here. It's heating up a little bit. And these are going to be some nice sized meatballs, aren't they? Now these make a great appetizer, and you might want to make the marinara sauce that goes with it so you can have that for dipping. Or you might want to just add these to spaghetti and use it for your Now since I have some going here, I can go ahead and turn up my heat a little bit on my stove, get it to about medium, so these can go ahead and start cooking while we're finishing up the rest here. You might want to add about a 1/4 inch of cooking oil to the bottom of your pan, and it just depends on, you know, if you got a good pan that doesn't stick, but that's about how much you would add. And I'm using olive oil for this, so they have a nice Italian flavor. Oh, we got a lot of meatballs here. Now you can see I didn't use all my breadcrumbs. I sort of held back a little bit, so we can use that maybe later, or if we want to add it to something else, but we didn't need them that to be that bready, so I like them a little more meaty. Okay, we're getting our pan full here. And you can see my garlic is a little bit big. I probably would have liked it a little bit smaller, more minced. Okay, so we're almost done here. Now this should make enough for 4 people. It looks quite a few here. So I would say maybe even 6. I'm going to spread these out a little bit and put some more in here, see if we can get them all in. It's going to be real interesting to taste them with the lemon though. Another option would be to add some of your other Italian essential oils like basil, marjoram, oregano. Of course, you got to be very careful with oregano. Only use 1 drop and maybe even not that much. You might want to use the toothpick method for that one because it is such a strong oil and it would be so powerful. Now, garlic essential oil is also available, but that is something you'd want to open outside the house. It's so powerful. It is just amazingly strong, but you would only add the 1 drop by the toothpick method on that one because it would be too much to put a whole drop in it. Okay, so I have a little bit left over here. I guess we're going to have a little meatball for a baby, or maybe the cats will get this one. Okay, so they're starting to cook here. So we're just going to turn up the heat a little bit. And these are going to be able to be cooked for about 8 to 10 minutes. We're going to flip them in a few minutes, so we'll be right back. Well, it looks like these are just about done, so let's go ahead and put them on our plate. And you know what? They didn't shrink up quite as much as I expected. So I'm thinking these might work on a nice sub sandwich with some fresh garlic Italian bread, and put some of the sauce on and melt some cheese over them, so they'll be really good. And some of them fell apart because they're so soft, so maybe next time add a little more of the breadcrumbs, or just a little more, maybe smaller meatballs. But they look pretty good. They smell delicious too. So I'm looking forward to trying these with the lemon. Meatballs are ready. Okay, well, we've put our meatballs aside, and now we're going to make our marinara sauce. Now, you can use a food processor or even a blender. If you like it a little smoother, you might even want to take it and put it on the stove on low heat and cook it down a little bit. But let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to get our blender here ready, we're going to add a 28-ounce can of diced up tomatoes. And we're going to use a teaspoon of basil. We're going to add a teaspoon of oregano. And we're going to also be adding our garlic, of course, minced up. Let me get a spoon and use that. So we've got 2 cloves here already cut and minced. And we want to add 1 shallot. Okay, so this is chopped. So we're just going to pour that right in and get that all mixed in there. Now I was thinking, since we are using some of the dried herbs that might have just a little bit of taste, I want to try adding a little bit of oregano. Now, oregano is so powerful and strong that I wouldn't want to use a whole drop for this amount. So I'm just going to dip it right in here, get a little bit on the toothpick, and then I can just swirl this around into the sauce. And I'll probably do that again right at the end. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get this going here. Okay. So let's see if we like the consistency there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my dish ready and take this off, maybe. And I'm going to just pour it right in here. It'd be nice to use fresh tomatoes. And we want to just place this right in our dish with our meatballs. And now we have a beautiful dipping sauce to go with our meatballs for a nice appetizer. Bon appetit!